Okay, I'm going to give you a little garden tour. This is actually my first garden, so I thought it did very, very well. So we'll start by going over here. This is my tomato section. They're not doing very well right now. I think it's because of the heat, and it's kind of the end of the season. I did get a bunch of tomatoes from all of these plants. There are a few tomatoes that are ripening still, but I don't see blooms, so I think they're about done. I planted Brandywine tomatoes. There's some yellow ones right there that are about done. I do have a few green tomatoes still, but pretty much I've cleaned up almost all of my tomato beds. So I did plant a few Cherokee purples, and they did pretty good, as well as some pineapple tomatoes, which are small yellow tomatoes, probably about medium size, small to medium size. I tried to interplant some basil and oregano and some marigolds in amongst my tomatoes to kind of keep the pests down. And being this is my first year, I don't know whether that really did much good or not, but here's a really good Brandywine tomato and a few that are green. And then this was a bed of onions, and they've already been pulled, so I'm going to plant radishes, lettuce, spinach, and things like that in there. I do still have a little bit of Italian oregano, and I've got 2 pepper plants that did not do very good, so I'm probably going to pull those. This bed over here was my broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, and I do have the Brussels sprouts left. They've kind of been ate up by the bugs, but this says it takes a long time for Brussels sprouts, so we'll see how they do. That is actually a cabbage I just haven't pulled out yet. So my cucumbers looking kind of sad right now, but they did prolific. I had a ton of cucumbers. I did pickles and everything with them, so I was very happy with my cucumbers this year. Across the top is actually a grape, and it is producing. I mean, the vines look great, but we did not get any grapes at all. Of the any that we did get, they were tiny little pea size, so I don't know much about grapes, but we might keep trying with that one or pull it and do something different next year. This bed over here that's covered in cardboard was where my peas were, and my peas did very well until we got the huge amount of heat, and then they pretty much stopped producing. So I pulled them all out, and weeds took over that bed. So I'm killing the weeds out right now so that I can possibly plant something in the fall or get it ready for spring for next year. And this is my compost bin that I made this year. So I put all of my compost from the garden, as well as my fruits and vegetables, scraps and stuff from the kitchen, I'll throw in there. And then over here in the back, we'll go over here. I've got a lemon tree and a lime tree, and it's very weedy because I have watermelon, and I don't want to kill my watermelon. They're doing very well. They're sugar babies. You can see there's one right there. I've got probably 5 or 6 of them in here. So I'm just waiting for them to ripen up and get ready to cut, and we'll enjoy some of those watermelon. Well, there's a little tiny baby right there. And there's my lemon. It's actually a lemon. And then my lime tree. And I did have 2 lemongrass that I put in these fabric pots. And when I brought them out here in the winter, they actually almost froze to death because I brought them out too soon. But they made it and they came back and they look amazing. So I'm happy with my lemongrass. I do have 1 or 2 eggplants actually right here, and they did very well. I've got a few more eggplants to harvest, and then they'll probably be done. Also in the same bed, I did lettuce. I did lots of heads of lettuce that I really, really liked, and of course it got too hot, so the lettuce is all gone, but I did keep 2 of the lettuce heads, and I wanted them to flower so I could save the seeds. So that's what I'm doing here. And this is my dinosaur kale, which you can tell the bugs have just ate all up. I don't even think I got 1 or 2 leaves from this before they started eating it. So if anybody has any ideas on what to do, but they have just ate it down to the skeletons, basically. And we'll go over here. I've got chives, and this is my black beauty pepper, bell pepper. It did not do too well. I do have a few on here, but the plant is not faring very well for some reason. And here is one of my Asian peppers, and it is just producing like crazy. And I'm going to actually make some sweet Thai chili sauce out of those peppers. And then another thing is my okra. This is the red burgundy okra, and it is huge. I did not realize how big they got. It is taller than I am. And the flowers are gorgeous. They are just, it's a beautiful plant. I love the way the veins look on the leaves, the red. It's a really, really pretty plant. And it has done wonderfully. I actually have 4 of them in this little section right here. And we're just getting okra like crazy off of this. And I do have a Thai basil hidden in there, as well as some sage. And I actually have a celery that I planted actually just out of a cutting. I bought celery at the grocery store and then decided I was going to go ahead and plant it. And it is in here hiding. But yep, I got celery. There it is right there. And then over here is my peppers. My peppers have just gone gangbusters. This is a red jalapeno. A red habanero. And then I've got some sweet peppers on the end. Just some sweet. They'll turn either red or yellow. I've got a whole bunch of those. And then my favorite peppers are the poblanos. And they are just prolific. I've just got tons of poblanos. I've already picked just a whole bunch of them, so they are just all over the place in here. And I actually did intense planting where there are 12 pepper plants in this bed, which might be a little bit too much, but they all did very well. My husband has if I can find it, Carolina Reaper in here, and he's already picked several of them. But they're some Carolina Reapers. This is also another habanero, and it's just going crazy. I've got habaneros coming out my ears. This was a jalapeno, and I did get a lot of jalapenos from it, but then it all of a sudden decided it was going to turn yellow and look like it's dying on me. I don't know. And here is another Carolina Reaper plant. It's got lots of peppers on them. So that's a little short clip of my garden. I hope you enjoyed, and there will be lots of videos coming